Though I think it's really important to mention that these things are linked. Our psychological well being is linked to our physical well being. Getting out and being active, staying physically fit is a component of mental health care. And having practices that improve your mental health care can also promote physical health care, doing things like exercise or attending regular doctor's visits.
You mentioned that the intervention like exercise can improve mental health, and I agree with you 1%. I can see it in the days that I feel a bit blue. I'm going for a cycle and I come back very energetic. What other intervention, like
Yeah.
nutrition, like what is the effect of sleep? What is the effect of other intervention that can improve someone that feel normal? And we started by saying that half of us have some mental health issue. We don't know about that, but if you look at yourself, you have 50% chance to have a mental health issue. That's what I'm heard from you, Pete.
So, yeah, at some point in your life, that's right.
Yeah. So how can we prevent it? So you said exercise. What else can we do in order to reduce the chance that we'll get into such situation?
Yeah, you named the two really big ones from a physical health perspective. Number one, sleep. So, sleep challenges are associated with a range of mental health concerns and suicide. So, getting regular sleep, having scheduled sleep, finding ways to ensure that you're sleeping as well as you can through the night, and all that we know about sleep health is a really important factor for improving mental health. Interestingly, diet is also becoming an increasing focus of psychologists. The link between what we put in our bodies and how our minds are functioning is growing continually clearer. And so there's recommendations about providing for our mental health by eating healthy foods as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What about other intervention or other risk factor that can make you more likely to have a mental health issue, like, for example, substance abuse or other?
Yeah. There's a few really big ones. If we're thinking about mental health concerns across the board, one of the big ones is traumatic life events. So, of course, having something really horrible happen in your life, the threat of death, or experiencing something violent or something terrible happening to someone you care about, can be part of post traumatic stress disorder. So, people might begin to experience traumatic stress reactions to having something really horrible happen to them. But those kinds of events can also lead to other mental health conditions, different types of anxiety disorders or depression, for example, or even schizophrenia can result from having an extraordinarily stressful life condition for individuals who have some kind of biological predisposition for such a disorder. So,
Okay.
stressful life events are across the board a major predictor of mental health concerns.
Yeah. Is genetic is a factor? Let's assume that if my father or my mother had a mental health issue, I have a better chance to have it as well, or no relationship?
Yes. So there are some disorders that show a stronger genetic component than others. So schizophrenia is a big one. Bipolar disorder is another. Other disorders, it's been harder to nail that down. That a lot of the variation that we see in terms of anxiety, for example, can be due to a multitude of other factors. And so it's been harder to isolate specific genes that are leading to disorders like anxiety.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say on anxiety, though, as long as I brought it up, is that there are studies that show that anxiety, for example, does tend to run in families. So if you have a parent who has anxiety, you're more likely than someone who doesn't have a parent with anxiety to experience some concerns related to anxiety. But that may be about shared environment that you grew up learning from your parent who interacted with the world in an anxiety provoking way, for example. So it doesn't necessarily seem to be related to genes in a particularly strong way, even though they may be playing some part.